So what we're going to do, the design that we're using, I put into the machine from another source. So on the right hand side you'll see the third tab down. It's a file folder with an arrow going out. That means file open. Or it looks like a handbag, as I've had people tell me. So I'm just going to explain some of the bars that are on there. You're not going to touch them just because it's going to ask you for the different things. So the built-in memory is 3 megabytes. You can put as many folders and as many designs as 3 megabytes will hold. So you're not restricted to what we had before, 12 file folders, and you could only put, give or take, 100 designs in that file folder. So however, you can file things according to your project, to your kids, to your heart's content. You can be nature, seasonal, whatever. Underneath that we have the ATA card. So this is a compact flash card, like you buy for some cameras have them. You can buy them in computer stores. It goes into an ATA card adapter and it pops into the side of the machine. So if everybody looks on the right side, you'll see the slot that goes into. Okay. So this actually is old technology. Our previous machines had this, but Janome included in this machine because people still have these cards, as well as we have our Janome branded cards. So these are from the older machines. These will go into this machine. The format is .jef plus. So the JEF will go into the machine, and this goes in the same way. Okay, and you can access designs that way. Okay, and then below that we have, it says USB memory. This is the newest technology, is your USB memory stick. This is fast and efficient, small little gizmo, and it plugs into the USB port in the side of your machine, also on the right hand side. Okay, so you can download designs from the internet. If you have a CD, you can put it into your computer and then you can save it onto your memory stick, or if you still have the ATA cards from your previous machines, you can still use them. So they didn't get rid of completely the other technology. And then underneath that we have a CD-ROM. Janome has given all these different types of data transfer, so it appeals to all different types of people. There are people who don't want to have anything to do with computers. They still don't like them. They'll have them in their machines, but they don't want to be dealing with them. So what we have is an optional CD-ROM drive. So if you purchase CDs or the Janome branded CDs, they just go right into your CD-ROM drive and they plug right into into the same port as your USB into the right-hand side. And then if you love computers, we have the next button down, we have the PC tool. So you can connect directly, comes with a USB cord, so you can do two-way conversation between your machine and your computer. So you can download designs from the internet into your computer, send them to your machine, sew them out. Like, how cool is that? I would love to take this machine into a computer store, because so many times, you go in, see, and Brenda knows, you go in and you look for this stuff and you ask them and they go, I need a USB stick for my sewing machine, and they're like, sorry lady, we don't sell that stuff. You need to go to the sewing machine dealer down the street. So I would love to bring it in and show them how much technology has come into the sewing world and that we can do all this stuff. We can download. We even have Stitch Link. That's actually the sixth one. You can send designs wirelessly to the sewing machine. So if your computer's upstairs or downstairs, you can send wirelessly to your sewing machine. So you don't have to have a 100-foot USB cord. So with this machine, it appeals to all users. You can do whatever works for you, and you can get beautiful designs to the machine. Okay, so the design we're getting is in built-in file, so the built-in is backlit in yellow, and the file you're accessing it from is EMBF. So if everybody can touch that folder to open it. And the design is tulip, so if everybody can touch the picture of the tulips. Okay, woohoo, look at that. So it tells us we're ready to sew. It's going to take 5 minutes. There's only one color. There's just over 2,000 stitches, the size of the design. It tells you to put the P-foot on. And those other buttons that are underneath, they're not as effective because we're only doing a one-color design. But when you come for your lessons, you'll have all those explained to you. Under the design itself, it says red 225. That's a Janome color. The machine has 6 different thread charts in it. So if you work with Mettler thread, Robinson Anton, Sulky, Madeira, there's 2 weights of the Sulky. There's a 40 and a 40 polyester and a 40 rayon, I think. So whatever you sew with, you can put that into the machine, you go into set, and it'll give you the appropriate number for your thread charts, for your threads. And then it tells you that you've got 1 out of 1 colors. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into edit. So that's the tab, the light blue tab at the very bottom that has, it looks like graph paper. If everybody touch that. And you got touched again there, Darla. Yeah. You don't have to be so quick. She's just so excited. Okay. So we're in the edit screen at telling you across the top that it's the standard hoop that you should have on for that particular design. But what I'd like to show you is the different hoops that are available for the machine. So you're going to touch the white button that has the picture of the embroidery hoop. Okay. So you can see there's quite a few hoops for this machine. We have the standard hoop, which is to the left of you sitting on the table. Okay. And then we have the square hoop. This is our square hoop. And we were really excited when this hoop came out because square is best. Square fits our quilts. Look at that. So you don't have to rehoop and rehoop to get a nice big design like that. So those two come in the box. And then to the right of that we have our FA hoop, which is our little free arm hoop. This is optional. Okay. And then to that next one we have the macro hoop. Look at the size of that one. So that's 200 by 280. Look at the difference. So it is a 2-part hoop. It stitches out the upper part first, and when the design is done the upper part, the machine will stop and it'll tell you to slide the hoop up, and then it'll lock in and you do the lower part of the design.
So the peacock.
Yeah, look at that.
Could you put the peacock in one hoopie?
No, that one can't, but there is a peacock that comes in one of the designs that all fits in there. But can you imagine doing all that in one hooping?
That would be wonderful.
Yeah. So it's really, really exciting. And then underneath the standard hoop is the RE hoop, which I forgot to bring with me, but that's okay. And that was an added thing that came in after the 11,000 came out. We were really excited about the square hoop, and Janome was really excited. But then we said, but we want that size. For those of you who had our older embroidery machines, we had the B hoop. So it's just a little bit narrower, and for some designs we wanted a narrow hoop. So Janome really does listen. So just recently, this is an added update that came into the machine. We now have the RE hoop. And with the RE hoop comes the HH, which is the hat hoop. So this part of the hoop comes out, and a hat hoop insert comes in. So if you're into making baseball caps and that, it's a really great hoop to have around in your stash. And I mentioned update. The machine is fully updatable. Since it came out 2 years ago, we've had 2 updates, and it's been because of requests from us educators, from staff, from consumers that, can you do this? Can you do that? We'd really like the machine to do this. So unfortunately, you don't know what, all the new things, but there's quite a bit that's been added since the machine came out because we wanted it to do more, and Janome was able to do that for us. So if you ever think of something that the machine should be able to do besides wash your dishes, please let your dealer know and they can pass it on to us. Okay, so we're going to just X out of that because we're going to leave it in the standard hoop. And now what we're going to do is rotate the design around. So you have a button that has arrows going in a circle, if you can touch that. And now you have a choice to either rotate 45 degrees clockwise or counterclockwise. And then you also have single degree rotations. So you're going to touch the clockwise 45 twice. Clockwise, yeah.
Yeah, clockwise.
There we go, yeah. And just again to tell you, in the previous, when the machine first came out, it didn't have this option. You just pressed the rotating and the degrees weren't there. So if I told you 75 degrees, you had to keep touching, and it would flash the degrees, but it didn't stay on the screen. And we said, we need it to stay on the screen. So they updated it. So we now see the degrees. So everybody touch OK. And what we need to do is move it a little bit to the right. So you're going to use, the screen is a dragging screen. But because it's centered on that horizontal line, we don't want you to mess up that part. So you're going to use the layout arrows, and that's at the bottom of the screen here. So you're going to touch the right arrow, and you're going to tap, tap, tap on it. You can hold it and release, but we want it about 1 square, the size of 1 square from the right edge, give or take, about 1 square. There's a little line on the right-hand side. That's part of a square. So make it the equivalent at that side. So
right to this line?
So not quite, just a little bit in, about as much as this one is.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Okay, is everybody good?
Okay.
Perfect. And let's see, Doreen. Yeah, good stuff. Okay. So then, and then to the right of that rotating button, not that you'll see anything, but just to touch it, it looks like a sailboat. The two, that's your vertical mirror image, if you can touch that. And touch your, touch the one on the, I can't even think, touch the one on the left that looks like a sailboat. And you'll see your design flip around. Touch it again to bring it back. You got to hear it beep there. Yeah. And then if you touch the other one, the sailboat laying on its side, you'll see it just flip horizontally. So this makes your editing a lot easier. And just to explain the screen a bit, while the little dialog box is up, the rest of it is grayed out. You can't move the design or affect it at all when that box is, when it's grayed out. So that little dialog box has to be closed before you can touch anything. So everybody touch OK. And now what we're going to do is bring in another little part for the design. You're going to touch the tab that has the AZ, the monogramming tab. AZ, yeah. Yep. And we are in the Gothic font. We want to change the font. So at the very bottom, you'll see a button that has two capital A's, a block and a script. Okay, this brings us to our all the different fonts. We've got 10 of them. 10 different fonts. Yeah, that one. There it is. So here we have a sample of all the different fonts. Okay, you've got 10 of them. You've also got 2-letter and 3-letter monogramming. And you've got borders, which are these little designs down here. So they're great for combining into long lines. And we also have normal sew. And these stitch out like normal sewing, like as if you were front to back sewing. But you can arrange them in the embroidery hoop so you can make really cool shapes and designs. So you're going to touch normal sew, please. And you'll see in the second row, second from the left, an outline of a tulip. You're going to touch that 7 times and then touch OK. And if you put one too many, you can use the dark blue arrows at the bottom left and back it up one and then throw it in the garbage can. So you can touch this one here. So touch that. And you'll see this turns blue. Okay. You can touch the garbage can and throw it away. Cool. Yeah. To get one in there, so touch OK. So everybody's got the, so now what you see is the black tulip sitting right on top of your red tulips, okay? We need to rotate them, so you're going to touch your rotating button again. Rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. See how easy that is? You've got it all figured out already. And then touch OK once you've got it rotated.
And you want them on top like that?
And now you're going to use your left arrow and move them to the left. About the same distance the top of the tulips are from the right. So the left arrow, and if you hold that left arrow, it moves slowly and then it goes faster and faster. So you want to let it go a little bit before it goes where you want it to.
Like that?
Oh, well, don't worry so much about where it is now because we're going to curve it and you may want to move it around a bit. Okay, so everybody's got that? Yes? We're good? Okay. So now you'll see a button that has an ABC with an arc underneath. If you can touch that, this is your arcing tool. And you're going to touch the up arrow once and see what happens. And, and then touch it again. Okay. And now sometimes as things arc, they get a little crowded together. So you're going to touch the button that has the 2 arrows pointing out. Touch it once and see, you'll see it stretch a bit. Mm-hmm. And then if you want to arc it a little bit more, you can touch the up arrow again.
Oh, I love this.
And if it double beeps at you, it means that it's hitting the walls of the hoop. So you maybe need to move it away from the walls. But you can't do that while this dialog box is up.
Yeah, is this too close where I have it?
No, it's good. But once, okay, so once you're happy with your arcing, you're going to close that dialog box by touching OK. And now if you want to move that tulips, the row of tulips a bit, use your arrows to move it left or right. I'm not going to tell you where it needs to go. You guys are pretty creative. Mm-hmm. And the reason why it's sideways, as opposed to up and down, because it fits better in the hoop that way. And you sometimes have to think, you know, you don't always necessarily need to hoop this way. You don't have to hoop up and down. You can hoop this way if the design fits better and fits across your project. But we really do get hung up on it needs to go this way. Okay, so that's why the tulips are sideways. Okay, we need to change the color of those black tulips. So you're going to touch the color key. It has a rainbow on it. So we touch the rainbow key, the color key.
And the green highlight box was around the tulips. The thing that's highlighted on your screen is the active box. So that's the one that the colors that we're working on were going around the tulips. Had it been around the red tulips, that would have been what was brought up.
Okay, so it says it's black 002 because that's a Janome color. What I'd like you to do is choose a color on your screen, one of the tiles, that's almost the same as the color that's on top of your machine. So just guess, and remember which tile it is that you chose, because you're going to change your bouquet of tulips as well.
Is this more of a teal or is that a green in there? Like
Choose it and see what it looks like.
oh, it'll come off like that on there?
Yep. And if not, choose another one. Because if we say the machine's colorblind, it doesn't know what color thread you're putting in, but what we want to do is make the design monochromatic. This is how you would do it if you were to bring in a multicolored design. Say, for example, this flower here, these are some of the built-in embroidery designs. If you wanted to do this flower monochromatic, you would bring this flower in, you would select it and bring it into the color key, and you would put every part to the same color. So on your color here, you only have 1 out of 1 part. But if you brought that flower in, you would have, it would have 1 out of 8 parts. So you would make each part red.
So that stops, your color change stops?
That's right. Yeah. So it would sew all in one color. And I like to do that kind of, I'm a monochromatic kind of girl. So yeah, so if you want to do it monochromatic, or any part of it, if you wanted to make it monochromatic, let's say you still wanted to have the leaves a different color, you can make the whole upper flower one color and then let your leaves stay the same color. Okay, so now touch OK on your screen. You're still trying to decide on your color. Okay, remember which one it is though. Whatever one you choose, remember which one it is. Okay. Now you're going to touch your bouquet of tulips and do the same thing. You're now going to touch your color key. And then, yeah, once you touch your color, then touch OK. So you'll see on the Janome machines, you don't have to go through a lot of screens. Everything is there. You don't need to OK and save it and go to another screen and do something else, or go to another screen and pick it up here. It's all one level, so it's really, really user-friendly. So has everybody got their design one color, they think? Oh, good. Then what we're going to do is we're going to save this, just in case. You're going to touch File, Save. Everybody's figured that one out? Yes? And what we're going to do is create a file folder with your name. So in the bottom left it says New. Touch that, please.
Oh, there. This one?
Spell out your name and touch OK. If you make a mistake, touch the garbage can. It will take back the last letter that you put in. Okay, so everybody's created a file with their name.